if you create yourself as the central character within the story, you basically get unlimited access to capital. My exit strategy changed over time. My idea was I'd trade the cycle like I did last time, and then sidestep crypto winter if it were to occur, and we don't know, and look for other returning assets that work well over that time. That's generally how macro would trade, and I'll probably do some of that. I think there's a whole bunch of opportunities that will come. But also, I think I'll probably just go into more kind of VC and some hedge fund strategies within the crypto space as well, just because, I think, it's really, it's at the shitty point of the cycle you actually want to be investing in the interesting stuff. It's not in the bull market that you really want to do it. So, I think you need to focus on trying to find these interesting things earlier on when nobody wants them, but meanwhile trying to make some money elsewhere as well, while this kind of chops around or sells off or whatever it's going to do. And what's really fascinating now, and you've seen it in this last correction, is even though everyone kind of pisses around on Twitter freaking out, nobody actually cares. A bunch of Asian 100x traders got stopped out, but even they don't care. Most of them laugh about it. So I don't think the space really cares about the volatility any longer. And I think everybody involved in the space has made such a good job of telling people about the cycle that I don't think even institutions are going to be put off. So I think that, people just put their heads down and get on with their building of stuff. And I think we reached tipping point this cycle because of the explosion of DeFi. It's just now become this, again, another supermassive black hole of talent. So it's not just capital now, it's talent as well. And I don't think anybody now would be freaked out by the market going down 90%, or I think people would be more freaked out if it traded sideways for a year and a half. I think that would kill everybody because people are so used to living off adrenaline.
That's rich people like you and Kobe. Y'all know how to stay rich or get richer. People who are invested have this ability to take advantage of the macro environment that you just discussed. The person who's trying to pay the mortgage, and even though it's a pretend inflation of that mortgage, to them, like you said, their wages have not gone up. I believe this has led to a lot of the populism that we see in the world on both sides. How can a regular person take advantage of these changing macro variables to not get totally screwed in all this?
Yeah, I wrote a long article about this called The Reason for Everything. And it was basically this: the fact why this has all happened is, for all of the reasons we talked about before, wages haven't gone up. And that's made people feel poorer. And well, they are actually poorer. Now, sure, you could afford more, loaves of bread because that's gone down in price because technology has destroyed the price of food. But overall, the price of things that make you wealthier over time by owning assets have become disproportionately expensive. So how do you solve for this? Unless you're an entrepreneur, it's almost impossible. It's that is a problem. So people have to do side gigs and they have to drive an Uber, and then they have to do something else, and it's hard, right? Because you're working huge hours just to say the same. What I'm a passionate believer in is this tokenization model is going to change that. So if you are a Gen Z and you come into your savings life, by the time that they start saving, by the time they hit 30, where the kind of core of the millennials are now, the millennials have just become financialized. You can see it en masse, right? The rise of Robin Hood, all of this is the millennials becoming financialized. That will happen to Gen Z. These Gen Zers are going to be able to tokenize real estate. So no longer is the hedge fund dude able to buy something in Fifth Avenue for $50 million, which is unavailable to anybody else. You'll be able to fractionally own part of it. So the hedge fund dude can have X% of his assets in it, 3% of his assets, and so can the Gen Z who's earning, a couple of grand a month. That's game changing, because then you're putting everyone in a level playing field for creating wealth. It's the same with art, the same with classic cars, the same with real estate, the same with cryptocurrency, all of these things. So anybody can create a basket of these assets that have made rich people rich in the same proportion. That is a huge difference. The robots took over mass production. and artisan production went to humans. And I think that'll be the case too. And I think there's a place for that. And I think that's great. If we can encourage artisan stuff, and we've seen it, the millennial generation did a really good job of, artisanal bakers or clothing shops and stuff like that. And that little entrepreneurial small business is the essence of so many businesses. Now, you can sell them online now, and that's okay too. But that is great. The general job in retail and stuff like that, that's going. And, that's not going to be easy. That transition is why universal basic income, because nobody's figured out a better way to deal with this. You either stop technology. Yes, it's impossible not to do.
How do you feel about the Michael Saylor just sell everything he owns, raise debt, sell equity, mortgage your house, just own Bitcoin? Is he a madman? Is he going to make it?
The point being is that this is not going to sound nice.
Chat, get ready to clip it.
It doesn't matter to him. He's a billionaire. He either makes himself this reputation and becomes one of the richest CEOs in the world, or he loses the whole company in this and is still a billionaire. Misaligned incentives.
Yeah, fair enough. He's trying to get to the core table, maybe.
I don't think it's a stupid bet, but I understand it can go horribly wrong. He's figured out what Elon figured out, and Cathie Wood figured out, and a bunch of these people have, Chamath figured out, which is if you create yourself as the central character within the story, you basically get unlimited access to capital. And so he's done that. He's now created a mythology around himself. And guess what? Most of those people won in the end because they couldn't go bust because they had a community behind them. And Taylor's done that. In that way, it's pretty smart. So the best investment you can make in yourself is travel. And travel to places outside of your comfort zone. I'm not talking about, I've traveled down to St. Bart's and we went to a party. That's not travel. There's something called the comfort zone and something called where the magic happens. And it's nowhere near the comfort zone. That is the secret to life, is you become a broader, more understanding. Your eyes are open to more opportunities. You see things in different ways and you're not influenced as directly by others. Travel is the greatest education you could ever invest in. And guess what? It costs you pretty much nothing to get on a plane, get down to Nicaragua and backpack around for 2 weeks and tell me that hasn't changed your life. It will do.